Welcome to this new series of data mining concepts and techniques. So, we have the new video today that is related to the data warehouse architecture. It is very important to know the warehouse architecture because if you want to create our data warehouse to particular application, we need to know the architecture pattern and how we can design that data warehouse according to our needs. And in general, we will see the ETL model, extract, transform, and load model afterwards in this data warehouse architecture session. So let's get started. So, design of data warehouse, a business analysis framework. So, how we can design our data warehouse? So, here is the framework defined. That framework is called as a business analysis framework. So, four views are defined regarding the design of data warehouse. First view is the top down view, where user allows selection of relevant information necessary for the data warehouse. So in top down view, we are selecting the relevant information which is necessary for the data warehouse. Second view is the data source view, which exposes the information being captured, stored, and managed by operational systems. So, this view is mainly concerns with the source of the data which is captured, stored, and managed. The third view here is the data warehouse view, where it consists of fact tables and dimension tables. So we have already seen the data warehouse, how we can create the multidimensional model of data warehouse. So it consists of the fact tables and dimension tables. Fourth is the business query view, where it sees the perspective of data in the warehouse from the view of the end user. In business query view, the end user is very important factor when we are designing our data warehouse. So data warehouse design process, how we can design this data warehouse. So we can use the top down, bottom up, or a combination of both approaches. So top down approach is the starts with overall design and planning, that is the mature approach, and bottom up it starts with the experiments and prototypes, and it is the rapid process. So we are going to use the combination of top down, bottom up. Okay, from software engineering point of view, there are two models basically: waterfall model, which is structured systematic analysis at each step before proceeding to the next. So it has the systematic analysis like requirement gathering, then design, then development, deployment, like waterfall model is there. And second is the spiral model, which is the rapid generation of increasingly functional systems, short turn around time, quick turnaround time. So either we can use the waterfall or spiral model from the viewpoint of software engineering. Then the typical data warehouse design process has these steps, particularly four steps in data warehouse design process. First, choose a business process to model. For example, orders, invoices, etc. What we have to do? We have to first choose the business process. Then number two, choose the grain, atomic level of data of the business process. The next process is the choosing the grain, that is the level of data. Then number three, choose the dimensions that will apply to each fact table record. Then we have to choose the dimensions according to our fact table record. And final step is number four, choose the measure that table record. So this is the whole process of data warehouse design. So this is the typically we can say these are the 4 steps. So this is this slide regarding to data warehouse, a multi-tiered architecture. So data warehouse is divided into multiple tiers in this architecture. You can see here the first tier is the data sources, then second tier is the data storage, third is the OLAP engine, and fourth is the front end tools. So in data sources there are operational databases and other sources. In data storage it is divided into extract, transform, load, refresh operations, data warehouse, and it has the different dimension and fact tables. In OLAP engine tier, it has the OLAP servers and it has the serves. In front end tools, it has the analysis, query, reports, and data mining. So in this way, the data warehouse is divided into multi-tiered architecture, or you can say the multi-tiered architecture, which has the different tiers like data sources, data storage, OLAP engine, front end tools. So we will see here the 3 data warehouse models present regarding to our architecture point of view. So first is the enterprise warehouse. So the first model collects all of the information about subjects spanning the entire organization. So enterprise warehouse, as the name suggests, it is spanning the entire organization. So it includes the entire organization warehouse. Second, data mart. What is data mart? A subset of corporate wide data that is of value to a specific group of users. Its scope is confined to specific selected groups such as marketing data mart, or it has the independent versus dependent data marts. So if the information is particularly defined to a selected group or a particular group, for example marketing group, so it is called as the data mart. Then the third data model is the virtual warehouse, where virtual warehouse is defined as the set of views over operational databases. So what is virtual warehouse? It is the set of views basically. So only some of the possible summary views may be materialized. So in virtual warehouse we can get the summary views basically. So 3 data warehouse models are there. First is enterprise, which is concerned with the entire organization. Then the second is data mart, which is particularly concerns with the one of the department in any of the organization like marketing. And third is the virtual view, which is the basic view, or we can say the set of view or summary of the view. Then the next is the data warehouse development recommended approach. So how the approach should be and how we can develop the data warehouse. So we can say that it is the combination of different warehouse models. Like here is the distributed data marts, which has different data marts present like marketing, sales, likewise. And it has the enterprise data warehouse. So we can combine these 3 models particularly for defining our or developing our data warehouse. So it is the recommended approach, and we can get the high level corporate data model here. So data warehouse backend tools and utilities. So this is the one of the tier present in the architecture. So in these tools and activities, we can see that there are ETL tools present. ETL tools plays very important role in data warehouse. So it has the different steps, as like you can see here. First is the data extraction, where we can get data from multiple heterogeneous and external sources. So we can extract the data first. Then second is the data cleaning. After extracting, we are detecting the errors in the data and rectify them when possible. In second step, we are basically doing the rectification of the errors. Then in third step, there is the data transformation. So we are converting data from legacy or host format to data warehouse format. So what we are doing here, from the raw data, we are collecting or we are getting the useful information in this process. So this is the third, that is data transformation, where we are converting data according to our need. The fourth is load. This operation is also it, it also sort, summarize, consolidate, compute views, check integrity, and build indices and partitions. In load operation, we are doing all these kind of sub operations like sort, summarize, consolidate, compute, integrity, and indices partitions. So this is the load operation. And last is the refresh, where we are propagating the updates from data sources to data warehouse. So these are some of the data warehouse backend tools and utilities, so that you have to remember. Then the metadata repository. As you know, every table or every database has its metadata. What is metadata? Metadata is data about data. So we are storing the metadata in relational database also, and in this data warehouse also. So metadata repository is very important concept. So metadata is the data defining warehouse objects. What it stores? It stores the description of the structure of data warehouse, that is the schema, view, dimension, hierarchies, derived data definitions, data mart locations, and contents. And it stores the operational metadata, that is the data lineage and currency of data, monitoring information like statistics. Also, it has the algorithms used for the summarization, the mapping from operational environment to data warehouse, that is from traditional relational database system to data warehouse. Then the data related to system performance. We are also storing in the metadata, that is the warehouse schema, views, and derived data definitions. We are also storing the business data in metadata repository. So business terms and definition, ownership of the data, charging policies, these all kind of operations we are storing in the metadata repository, or we can say it is the very important repository for the data warehouse, that is the metadata repository. Then the last part of this data warehouse architecture is the OLAP server architecture. As you know, we are also using the OLAP servers in the last tier of this architecture, that is the, it has many architectures. OLAP server has many architectures. First is the relational OLAP, ROLAP. So it uses the relational or extended relational database to store and manage warehouse data and OLAP middleware. And it includes the optimization of database management system backend and implementation of aggregation, navigation logic, and additional tools and services. And it has a greater scalability. So the relational OLAP is one of the important OLAP server architecture. Then second is the multi-dimensional OLAP, MOLAP. So it has the sparse array. It has the sparse array based multidimensional storage engine, and it is fast indexing to pre-computer summarize data. So it is second type of the OLAP server architecture, that is the multidimensional OLAP. Third is the hybrid OLAP, or we can say the combination of above architectures. For example, Microsoft SQL Server. It has the flexibility, that is low level relational databases and high level arrays. So this is the very important if we have the hybrid architecture. And fourth OLAP server architecture is the specialized SQL servers. For example, Redbricks. So if we have the specialized task or special operation to do, then we have to use this specialized SQL servers type. So what it does, it specializes support for SQL queries over star or snowflake schemas. So these four OLAP server architectures are present: ROLAP, MOLAP, HOLAP, and specialized SQL servers. So now we will stop here in this data warehouse architecture video. Do like, comment, and share the video, and also do not forget to subscribe the channel. Keep watching, keep learning. Thank you. Jai Hind.